But in the meantime, I need to eat something.
Trans activists are threatening to...
Oh no, the Arc it's the Arc. Wait, hold on. Is this Arc Warhammer or whatever the hell? Is he rebranded? I think this is Arc Warhammer. I think he was forced to rebrand because I'm pretty sure that he was told not to use the Warhammer name by Games Workshop. Yeah, I think they told him. So I'm gonna put on some food. Because I'm hungry. Don't mistake me with the country hungry. And I'm gonna be back. 3 minutes. I set it to 3 minutes, and then we're gonna eat. How's everybody? The chat is so quiet. I don't like it when the chat is so quiet. Feels like nobody's here. And I know that somebody is here. Make yourselves known. Maya Mayor. Simon. People. Workshop. The Games Workshop. They broke up with him. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Felt familiar. I was like, is this the same creator? Is this a different creator? Same guy, different guy. So we're gonna wait for the food to get warm. We're gonna make ourselves comfortable, and we're gonna watch. I'm gonna eat steak. I'm gonna eat steak and watch our favorite content creator, Warhammer Arc Cast. Transphobia is in fashion. Hello, mostly software. Trans agenda. Brush teeth, finish laundry. Make bed right, report to George Soros. I did the laundry. I still have to brush my teeth. I haven't made the bed, but you know, I'm streaming right now, but I did the laundry. I did the most important thing. Also, I'm cooking some steak. Hello, mostly software. Also, later we're gonna be reading more about addiction. Food's ready. Food's ready. Food's ready. Food's ready, and I'm ready to take the steak. 1 moment. Be right back. Also, hachapuri. Hachapuri. Been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this. On this plate is a steak because there's no way I'm gonna be watching this on an empty stomach. I cannot stomach this on an empty stomach. Get it? It's not something that I'm willing to stomach on an empty stomach. Lucy, I did a homemade tofu chili Karen with nice, very nice Zoshilix. I'm eating steak and hachapuri. What a combo. Okay, let's watch this lunatic. Remember, keep in mind while we're watching this video that transphobia has been already defeated today by Virginia. Thank God for Virginia.
Trans activists are threatening to burn down a school full of children because they...
Oh my God. The accent. Oh my God. The fake ass accent. I already forgot about it. The children are being threatened by trans activists. The children are being threatened by those horrid trans activists. Come on, dude. Come on. Did you make those sandwiches while sporting a fake-ass accent like Arc Warhammer here?
They are not allowed to enter the girls' bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
In other words, it is a day ending in Y. Though, despite the puzzling absurdity of all of this, there is, of course, an internal logic at play here. A reason for why
this is happening. The interior lunacy of this happening. Mostly software says, I did a temp job and pretended to have a Kentucky accent for a day. Zoshilix says, hell no, my tongue makes it not impossible for me to roll my R's. I used to be unable to say R. You want some Lucy lore? When I was a child, I was unable to pronounce the letter R. It was physically impossible for me. And I went to special therapy. No matter how hard I tried, the best I could master was a limp. No matter how hard I tried, I could not pronounce the letter R. And finally, with a lot of help, with a lot of therapy, and with the help of my grandfather from my father's side, I was able to produce the letter R. And I got a bucket of Lego knockoffs as a reward. I remember that. I have defeated my demons of not being able to say the letter R.
They are doing this, a reason they themselves can accept, at least, which is what we're going to talk about today. But first, a brief bit of background to our mystical and magical adventure, as this has to do with that recently announced new wizarding game, Hogwarts Legacy 2. You know,
What? Wait, hold on. There's a Hogwarts Legacy 2? They're gonna do a sequel to that crap? They're gonna do a sequel to that shitty game? I've never heard of that.
one really would think that the story of a neglected, abused boy finally finding out who he really is and where he belongs would speak to a bunch of people who claim to have been born with the incorrect plumbing and really just wants to fit in. Unless, of course, they just happen to be a bunch of actual predators sectioning off their hunting grounds.
What?
But oh well, details. To return to the point, I'm sure you all remember Hogwarts Legacy 1. More so for the chaos surrounding it than the game itself in all due likelihood.
The chaos surrounding it. The chaos surrounding it.
As it's transmogrified into quite the shitstorm slurry. Partially, of course, this was because of J.K. Rowling, famous first and foremost for running transgender death camps out of her backyard in Scotland, presumably a hobby of hers in between wearing a tiny mustache and practicing marching. Or so at least you would be forgiven for thinking if you've seen any of the coverage.
I'm noticing that this video has a lot of fluff, but nothing really to say. I finally exhausted my nostalgia for that IP after the Epstein shit. I've never had nostalgia for that IP. Now is the time for me to proudly announce I have never read a single Harry Potter book. I have never watched a single movie. I've not engaged in any way with that series ever. I've never seen the appeal. I never thought it was fun. I always thought it was crap. I was ahead of the curve, okay? I always thought Harry Potter was crap. There you go. I always knew.
Around her for the last 6 to 7 years. But for once, the horrible hag of Hogwarts, the single greatest existential crisis to have ever struck the left, was not fully and solely to blame, as the game also drew a lot of hissing and spitting for its lead designer, Troy Levitt, who had once upon a time ran an anti-woke YouTube channel. And I mean,
Who?
boy, that is pretty gosh darn evil. A moral crime equivalent, or perhaps worse, to abducting children, to irreversibly mutilate.
Yeah, nobody said that. It is stupid to run an anti-DSGW. It is a simple grift. It's really stupid, but you do whatever you want.
Them. No, wait, no. I'm thinking of the other crowd here.
What abducting? I don't trust this at all.
Anyways, much hubbub was had, and the moral majority of anti-bigoted fans, trans activists, anti-fascists, true feminists, progressives, and flag wavers of every kind swore they would destroy this evil wizarding video game via the means of a boycott, the likes of which the magic world has never seen before. At least not since the last 7 attempts to boycott Call of Duty, anyways. The game went on to not flop horribly, and instead sell a mildly absurd 40 million copies. Body slamming the entire prog sphere with the realization that they are not just a minority, but the smallest of all
I mean, yeah, what a shocker. Persecuted minorities are in fact minorities. What an incredible discovery Arc Warhammer is making. That minorities are in fact minorities. What the fuck? Amazing.
minorities. A loud one. This realization struck as hard and heavy as only a yo mama joke could hit if this was your birthing person. Now, one might suspect that if you had just personally
This person is embarrassingly unfunny. And I'm saying this, okay? I'm saying this. I am extremely unfunny. A lot of my jokes don't land. They fall flat. I say my joke, proud of myself, and nobody laughs. Some people cringe. Some people just scoff. But this is on a different level. This is on a whole different level. This is bad. Don't try to be funny if you're not funny.
been cockslapped by the deity of truth and illumination, you would avoid doing the precise same thing again. However, strategy was never their strong suit, now was it? But insanity aside, what is it that motivates this sort of behavior? It's certainly not any actual belief that this is going to work. The entire left wing's campaigning against Harry Potter has been one perpetual humiliation engine. Seriously, the people championing another boycott of this would be better off live streaming their own anal annihilation by cheese grater than this.
What? I'm eating. Please stop making these disgusting analogies. What the fuck? From awful unfunny humor to cheese grating at what? You never believed in magic, Lucy? Just so you know that there's a joke on the inner far right circle that friendship is magic and magic is heresy. Wow.
Or, well, as the saying goes, insanity does have a logic all of its own. I suppose they could be deluded enough by their own sense of indoctrinated moral superiority to imagine just about any sort of £250,000.
What the fuck is indoctrinated moral superiority? What the fuck does that mean? So stupid.
Pink gummy bear at this point. And that is kind of precisely what is happening. Because this reaction is not motivated by strategy. Well, once upon a time, the last time around maybe, it probably was, at least in part, as the left was still accustomed to being able to cancel things at will, people or products. This was a flexing of the progressive.
When? When has the left been able to cancel everybody at will? Hello, Great Rain.
Cancellation muscles, and it came back weak and wanting. A major victory for us in the opposition. But today...
Who are us? Opposition to what? Anti-fascism?
At this point in time, it is motivated by a genuinely primal reaction. An emotional one rather than a rational one. Fear. Now, sure, as I'll too often say when discussing these topics, this may sound crazy, after all.
It does. It does sound crazy. And it also sounds stupid, you're right, yeah. That's right. It does.
How is a video game supposedly something to be feared? Indeed, to the point where it is killing.
I cannot with this fake-ass accent. I just cannot. The left is both weak and powerful. It is indeed. They could cancel anybody on a whim.
People, and I do mean kill, as in they will use that precise verbiage when talking about J.K. Rowling.
And the other media, and yeah, probably buying Hogwarts Legacy. However, it gives money to J.K. Rowling, who actively founds lobbying against trans people, so it does kill. He's pronouncing the word kill in such a weird way. Kill. Oh, God.
And, this may be news to you, but J.K. Rowling is not actually driving around the countryside sniping trans people from the top of a double-decker bus.
Yeah, nobody said she did. Nobody ever said she did. That's not what people mean when they say that her actions leads to trans people's deaths. But Arc Warhammer is not a very smart person. He's not. Spoilers. Shock.
At least I'm reasonably sure we would have heard of it if that was the case, but there is a real and widespread fear on the left that there is a, quote, transgender genocide happening right now. As per usual, this is a linguistic trick using the...
It's not a linguistic trick. I don't think Arc Warhammer is qualified to even open his mouth on the topic of genocide. I don't think he has read the convention even once in his life. I don't think he knows what's in it. I don't think Arc Warhammer knows what genocide is, quite frankly.
The word genocide, with its obvious implications, to stoke sympathy from the outsider and fear in those inside the group. And it has been quite effective, with many of the left genuinely believing and internalizing this message. So instead of simply going on with the mockery outright, for from mockery, albeit satisfying, we learn little, let us investigate
What the fuck is happening?
it then.
Yes, please investigate it, please.
The justification for the genocide term comes from Raphael Lemkin's definition.
Oh, okay, he's actually gonna talk about Raphael Lemkin. by the way. Raphael Lemkin, a Polish Jewish lawyer.
Definition of genocide. He was a, and I quote from Wikipedia,
What the fuck is this?
a Polish Jewish lawyer.
Okay. What the fuck? What's with the what? What's with this weird reaction? What's wrong with being a Polish Jewish lawyer now? Fucking excuse me. Okay.
Yeah, I know, I know. But anyway,
You know what? What the fuck? What do you know? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What? What the fuck was that reaction? You refer to progressive as progs? What a weird reaction.
anyways, he coined the term genocide, and he defined it
Yeah.
thus.
He coined the term genocide based on his earlier work on the crime of barbarism. Yes.
Quote, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group, such as killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mentally harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction in whole or in part,
Mostly software says what he knows is that his Nazi audience won't take anything that follows seriously. Jesus fuck. God damn.
imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, or forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. The salient points here are, of course, causing serious bodily or mental harm, along with deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. The left argues that transgender people are experiencing an epidemic of violence, covering the bodily harm part.
Not just violence. There is an argument being made that rights are being taken away. And if trans people cannot engage with gender affirming care, then they're being effectively erased as a group. Also, Lemkin's definition was wider than that which has been adopted by the UN. And also the world of academia deals with many different working definitions of genocide. So,
and that the government, via legislation, is making it impossible and painful to exist as a trans person in America.
yeah.
Further, that
America.
this is a deliberate attempt to destroy trans people in total, covering the mental and group conditions part.
Yeah.
And there is certainly a lot of
So what's the problem? What's the problem with this definition?
legislation going on targeting trans people in particular.
Yeah.
But all of this still sounds like a bit of a stretch, especially
Why does it sound like a stretch? Please give me your analysis, Arc Warhammer.
bathrooms and sports legislation. How is blocking a man from pissing in the woman's lavatory genocidal?
That is the stupidest question that I've ever heard. And it just shows me that you have no clue what you're talking about. It's like asking, okay, how is banning Jewish people from sitting on certain benches, from entering certain parks, from entering certain facilities, how is banning Jewish people from public life a prelude to the Holocaust? Inconceivable. It's incredible. It's incredible that Arc Warhammer can ask something like that with all seriousness. Oh wait, no, of course he can. He's stupid.
Or stopping a man from beating the living daylights out of a woman in the ring, somehow making it impossible for trans people to exist.
Oh no, men are not doing these things. No.
And is there really legislation out there banning trans people from healthcare?
Yes, a lot of it actually. Yes. The person was a cis woman, of course. Of course, Arc Warhammer would not look into these things. Of course, Arc Warhammer is a complete idiot. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of legislation that actively bans healthcare for trans youth and for adults as well. Mostly software says there's like 800 anti-trans bills every year. Only some of them are about bathrooms. Some of them literally take away identification. Yeah, it's just silly.
Well, as mentioned previously, the proc is quite fond of linguistic tricks. This
No.
section has quite a lot of that. So let's sally forth into the marshes, shall we? Firstly,
Sally Forth.
healthcare. Because this would be by far the
Ah, yes. Of course, if Arc Warhammer does not consider trans people getting hormones, etc., as healthcare, then of course no healthcare is being banned. If he doesn't even consider it healthcare, brilliant.
most egregious one. If there was a governmental system designed to deny healthcare to trans people, so if one shows up
What do you mean? Trans people can go to a doctor and cure their, I don't know, arthritis just as anybody else can, can't they? They have access to the doctor. Fuck me.
with
Is
them,
this going to be the argument, unironically, that trans people can cure their cough? The doctor is just as anybody else.
bleeding head wound, the doctor would simply go, ew, that's a man in a dress. I'm not
Fuck me, it is the argument. It is unironically the argument being made here. God damn. Fuck me. No, he doesn't even say that. He doesn't even say that. He's gonna say, if you're gonna go to the doctors with a broken arm, the doctor is gonna treat your arm just like anybody else. So of course trans people have access to the same healthcare as anybody else. I've expected it to be something like what Vladimir said in the comments, that there's no such thing as trans healthcare. But no, the argument is even stupider. The argument is even stupider.
touching that. I mean, that would indeed be somewhat unreasonable. However, shocking though it may be, that's not quite what we're talking about here.
No.
By and large, the healthcare legislation is things like banning gender-affirming care for minors,
And adults. Adults as well.
whether it be the old snip or drugs.
No, that's not even... Surgeries are not even happening to minors.
The things targeted are so-called gender-affirming surgeries, like top surgery, to add or remove breasts, and modifications to the lower half, like carving out a gash down there, for example, to
A gash?
simulate a vagina, in the same way that fucking
Yeah, of course, Arc Warhammer does not know what bottom surgery is and what it does, of course. What a shocking development, huh?
a lawnmower as it's running constitutes masturbation. Or to install the, to be fair,
What the
rather
fuck
awesomely
was that?
running constitutes simulate a vagina, in the same way that fucking a lawnmower as it's running constitutes masturbation.
What the fuck was that? OC software also arresting teachers for calling children by their preferred pronouns. Oh, brilliant.
Or to install the, to be fair, rather awesomely sounding neo-penis. And
Okay, Arc Warhammer does not understand surgery. Great. Also, this also is, I'm pretty sure this is used in penis reconstructive surgery as well for cis people, so...
yes, just on the off chance you are a UA citizen and wondering, do my taxes pay for the neo-penis? Then yes, yes indeed they do.
Okay, so what? So what? Yeah, taxes pay for many things. Whoop-de-doo.
And this is considered critical access to healthcare.
Yes, yes, yes it is. Are you gonna provide some argumentation as to why it's not?
As much as I see the appeal of the neo-penis, I am...
Oh wow, really milking that joke. I swear to God, I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not funny. I recognize that I'm not funny. Whenever I try to be funny, people just whinge and cringe. But this is just so beyond. This is... I could not be this unfunny even if I tried. Even if I purposely tried to be this unfunny, I just couldn't.
not at all convinced that this does indeed equal critical healthcare. But this is
Why? Why doesn't it count as critical healthcare? Because you don't like the name neo-penis? That's not an argument. Why does it not constitute critical healthcare? Explain, make your case.
The
Oh wait, you're not gonna, because you don't have a case.
perspective comes back in. In the Prague worldview, identity is everything.
Prague?
You are defined by what you are.
I mean, yeah. What? Are you not? Are you not defined by what you are? Literally, that's just that's everybody. You're literally defined by your weird bigoted identity. You have nothing else without it.
Being trans is to be the opposite gender, and equally, if not more,
Being trans is not to be the opposite gender, by the way. Non-binary people exist for one. So that's not even true. To be trans is not to be the opposite gender.
more importantly, to be accepted and seen as that gender, to be affirmed both legally through things like passports and public registration, etc., and socially by passing as a woman.
Why woman? What? Trans men exist. Non-binary people exist. What the fuck is happening? Why women in particular? That all trans people want to pass as women? Even those with neo-penises want to pass as women? That makes no sense. But of course it makes no sense. So let's not forget who we're watching. Let us never forget who we are watching.
Since most bearded men will have a hard time with the latter part, gender-affirming care is therefore necessary to be that gender. Remember as well that they believe a priori that men can be women, literally, biologically women.
No, nobody believes that men can be women. Trans women are simply women, that's it. It's not men being women.
Therefore, any attempt to refute or block the idea that a man can be a woman and vice versa, like
nobody says that a man can be a woman.
Care is therefore necessary to be that gender. Remember as well that they believe a priori that men can be women, literally, biologically women.
There is no such thing as a biological man or biological woman. I mean, no.
Therefore, any attempt to refute or block the idea that a man...
Oh, look, Nyara is mentioned. Yes, trans women are biological females. Yes, trans men are biological males. Transphobes, the believers in biological reality, simply do not understand biology and how human sex works. Biologist. Oh, well, let's not forget that this person here is a biologist. Arc Warhammer is most definitely not. Arc Warhammer, and that may come off as a shock to you, is not a biologist, not a specialist in anything.
And can be a woman and vice versa, like refusing them access to the facilities that they would otherwise, being a woman, be allowed to gain access to. For example, blocking access to sports or bathrooms. This is then systemic discrimination. Because in
yeah, that's right. Yes, it is.
their eyes, this is just a woman seeking to gain access to the women's bathroom.
Yeah. Bravo, you've got it. You've cracked the code. Yes.
There is no other differences between a trans woman and a woman than the fact that one is denied access and the other isn't.
Yeah, in this case, in the case of the bathrooms, yes. What are you saying?
And furthermore, a woman that is a woman, despite not being a woman,
What the fuck does that mean? A woman being a woman despite not being a woman. That's like, I'm sorry, you're just rambling. Why is the woman not a woman?
must of course be given the surgery she requires to be a woman.
No, the surgery is not required to be a woman. It's required to alleviate gender dysphoria, which is not the same. God damn, those are basic things. Those are basic things that you can Google in 5 seconds flat.
Denying that care is like denying insulin to diabetics. Cruel and deadly.
I mean, yeah, it is cruel and deadly, yeah.
A somewhat reaching conclusion, but that...
Why? Why is there a reaching conclusion? Can you make your case for that? Oh, you're just gonna say it. You're not really gonna elaborate it any way, shape, or form. Of course not.
is the logic.
Why would you? You have nothing to say. There's no argument that you can present.
And if we accept the previous propositions, then I can see at least the cruel part. But deadly? Not paying for a woman's cock enhancement is deadly?
What?
How precisely do we make that pig fly?
You're so stupid. Person is so stupid.
It is at this point that we bring up Hogwarts Legacy.
Because we're talking about suicidality, you idiot. That's why. That's why it's deadly.
Again, and how it is literally killing people. If denying gender-affirming care or access to bathrooms and female sports is systemic oppression, then that is the government targeting trans people for being trans. This in turn makes it harder to be trans. Furthermore,
also, the anti-trans legislation is not just limited to bathrooms and sports.
Trans people are often viewed as the source of many problems today, including being parasites on the LGBT community. This dehumanizes trans people. And
yes, yes it does. Thank you.
leads to societal ostracization.
Yeah?
The dehumanization will then lead to an acceptance of violence against them and thus genocide. Man, I wish I knew this logic back in the day when they were
That's not the entire argument. That's no.
calling gamers nothing but sex pests and rapists. But oh well, details. I'm not holding a grudge.
What the fuck? No. What?
Thing.
Yeah, all gamers were not just called predators. A little bit of a self-report there by...
In other words, all of this makes it really suck to be trans, which is also, by the way, the reason for the downright remarkable Minecrafting rate.
Gamers, the oppressed group. The genocided group.
Because in a world where you sit at the very top of the progressive pyramid, well, that's just not a world worth living in, apparently. Furthermore, this is all a targeted plan, with the goal, they argue, to make being trans so impossible or dangerous that the identity of being trans disappears.
Okay.
And since
I mean, yeah, that is... Yeah.
identity is you, this erasure equals death. Or to summarize as to how this relates to Hogwarts, J.K. Rowling is a TERF, trans-exclusionary feminist.
Radical feminist. The word has an R in it. TERF, not TEF.
She believes that men
Is he physically unable to read the letter R? It says TERF, not TEF.
pretending to be women specifically to infiltrate and steal away female spaces. As a logical extension of this, she rejects the idea that trans women are women. Their very existence is in fact nothing more than a plot.
I'm sorry, I trust medical experts more than J.K. Rowling. A shitty author. Vladimir says, I guess the agreement has been made that just stop being. Duh. True.
To hustle in on her privileges as a woman. J.K. Rowling has furthermore funded significant legal battles against trans women and people, like getting the UK courts to rule that a man in a dress is indeed actually a man, like a magic spell. Unmolesto! And boom!
What? Unmolesto?
Transgender women have been, legally at least, wiped from existence in the merry old nation of Albion, following the logic
Well, the EU says that trans women are women, so what now?
we laid out earlier then. This, in turn, means that J.K. Rowling as good as went house to house, door to door, and personally erased every single trans person in Britain. The right wing of
No, because not all trans people are women. This person is really stupid. Really, really stupid.
course, disputes all of this rather stridently, arguing that outside of a microscopic number of people who do genuinely suffer from the mental illness that is gender dysphoria,
Transgender dysphoria is not classified as a mental illness. So, again, incorrect. And again, you can Google this in 5 seconds. Like the research that you need to produce this pre-recorded, scripted video is within minutes. The research necessary to correct all the mistakes in this video takes minutes at best.
the majority of trans people today are the victims of a social contagion, a fad
Yeah, that's bullshit.
for attention.
Prove it. Prove it. Prove that it's just a fad. Prove the social contagion thing.
And popularity. And
Okay, sure.
The statistics appear to bear that out.
No, the statistics don't appear to bear that out.
With some studies like the UK Tavistock Guides referrals showing how the number of trans people per 10,000 was sub 0.1 in 2009.
Except it's not trans people, it's gender non-conforming. Whatever, it's just bullshit. People cannot read statistics, people cannot read studies, people are illiterate, and then they make videos. And gain, how many views did this video have? 11,000? That's actually pretty sad. For a 122,000 subscriber count channel, having 11,000 videos on this crap is pretty sad.
And then in 2021, the number had risen to 8.3. That is an over 80-folds increase and an even higher increase
What is it,
in
COVID?
referrals. Yeah, the chemicals in the water really are turning the frogs trans. All this is a
Ha 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 ha. That's so funny. Holy shit. What a funny joke. Oh my god.
societal thing rather than a physical thing. And if it is, as the data seems to indicate, a societal contagion, then medical...
Yeah, the data does not suggest that. You're illiterate and you cannot read the data.
treating it with irreversible consequences is just about the worst possible idea we could be having right now. But I'm not really here so much to deliver the counter-arguments as I am here to explain the Hogwarts Legacy phenomenon, so...
Of course. Take it away, Chief.
Let me largely gloss past that.
Yeah. You better. Yeah, just move on. Move on, please.
In addition to the previous explanation on why the left believes this is genocide, then, we must also add that the left believes transgenderism is not
The fuck is transgenderism?
something you can fix. They do not believe there is a cure for transgenderism, only treatments. Beyond that, still, since...
Also, transgenderism, there's no such thing as transgenderism. Nobody needs treatment for being trans. You get treatment for gender dysphoria. This is just a video made by an illiterate person. You don't need treatment for being trans. There are trans people that don't suffer from gender dysphoria. They're perfectly fine. They don't want or need treatment for being trans. God damn. This is sad. This is sad and pathetic. Vladimir says it's him pretending or being silly, arguing that these crazy lefties are saying that you can't just stop being trans. To which he's saying that, oh, what crazy people, just stop being trans. Duh. True. Just stop. Have you considered just stopping? Oh, Maya Mayor now sent me a video. I guess I know what I'm doing after this video is done.
Gender dysphoria isn't something you get rid of or fight away.
Yeah, no, not every trans person has that.
Repressing it, therefore, only causes further mental stress and struggles down the line, making the person even sicker than before.
Oh, no.
Combine this with the idea of erasure we went over.
Erasure?
The notion of denying that a person is trans is erasing, thus destroying the identity, thus killing them, and we arrive at a position where even suggesting that there is a cure rather than simply treatment, that there is a way to fix a person.
Okay, what's the cure, Arc Warhammer? Give me the cure. Give me the cure to gender dysphoria. Please suggest to me this magical cure. Let's go. Do it.
To think that they are the right gender after all, well,
What the fuck does that mean? The right gender. Everybody's the right gender. What do you mean the right gender? Trans women are the right gender. What does that even mean? The right gender.
that is obviously transphobic. And
Yes.
a clear case
Using language such as the right gender is indeed transphobic. Quite a lot, yes. Yes, it is in fact transphobic. Yeah. God, you once again you have cracked the code. You got it.
of erasure.
Erasure.
Therefore, murder. For the final point of the explanation then, notice now how
Also, genocide and murder are two distinct crimes.
all of these posts are either violent, like burning down the school, or rejective, very, very rejective. If you play this, I'll never speak to you again. Or absolute in your
Okay.
need.
Who cares?
Everybody's needs to reject it. If you
I mean,
play
trans lives are more important than Harry Potter. That is objectively true.
the wizard game, you are denying the value of trans lives. Straight up, their lives. Not merely their inconveniences or anything, their actual
Conveniences? I'm sorry to tell you, but the wizard game does not inconvenience anybody in a direct way. How would it?
lives. It seems hysterical. Absurdly so. And
Yeah, of course. You can reduce anything to absurdity. You can reduce any topic of absurdity if you're a dishonest piece of shit. So yeah, of course it sounds absurd.
has, by and large, drawn mockery this time around, as the left does not have the societal power it once did. But if you believe all of the things we have gone over today, then you believe that the state, special interest groups, the entire internet, games companies, and a billionaire, J.K. Rowling, are all coming for you. Specifically to make your life miserable and to eventually destroy you,
That's not the argument.
to literally kill you and commit genocide against you and your kind. This is a very dangerous and very effective form of indoctrination. A
Oh my god.
classic cult tactic, in fact, where you
Is
intentionally
it really a classic cult tactic to say that that the state is doing a genocide against you? Classic cult? What? How is that a classic cult strategy?
seek to separate a person from others, from reality, if a
How does that follow? That saying that the state has genocidal policy is isolating you from others. Who are the others? Is the state your others now? Is that what's happening?
at all possible, and ensure the only succor and safety they can seek comes from the cult itself. In this case, the ideology of progressivism.
No. It's the ideology of progressivism.
Once this sets in, bringing somebody out of the cult and back to reason is
What is the reason?
extremely difficult, if not damn near impossible, because
God.
they have already been told and accepted in this case that you and everybody else out there that is not explicitly
Yeah,
on
the
their
king of reason, Arc Warhammer, the king of reason.
side and is constantly vehemently verbal about it, all of the others seek their total annihilation. And everything that happens in the world, even something like a video game or a movie, is reframed as yet another ingredient in a genocide, targeting you in particular. That is how you get to the point where you actually believe that a video game about pretending to be a wizard is out to kill people.
No, nobody says that the game where you pretend that you're a wizard is out to kill people. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And you really have to be an illiterate to come to that conclusion. You know, that's not the argument that is being made in the slightest. The argument is that the revenue from this game is being used by J.K. Rowling to fuel anti-trans projects. That is the argument that is being made. Nobody says that the video game is out there to get you. It's just, who is this for? Who is this video for?
It requires a fair bit of
Who is stupid enough to actually accept these arguments as sensible or sensical? Who?
mental gymnastics. And perhaps more importantly, it requires a lot of repetition of the indoctrinating ideas and, as well, as I mentioned, the linguistic tricks. This doesn't work if you're simply telling somebody that a game doesn't represent them, or might in some way mildly inconvenience them.
How would a game inconvenience you? How would that even happen? How would a game have the power to inconvenience? Are you stupid?
This only functions through fear layered upon fear, causing the target to self-isolate to protect themselves from, again, what they've been told is a literal genocide, literally killing people. If that's the kind of headspace
As
someone
opposed
is
to
in,
what? Figurative genocide?
then you can see why they might do some really off-the-wall stuff.
Like what?
Like freaking out over a wizard game. Until next time,
The only person that I see freaking out here is you.
I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon.
Embarrassing.
Till then, have a good day.
Embarrassing. Who is this video for? Let's see the comments. Newest comments. Trans is not a race, religion, ethnic group, or even a sexuality. It is people of one gender thinking they're the other. There's nothing to protect. Also, yes, Lemkin's definition of genocide was wider than the one adopted in the UN. It included social and political groups, and these would include trans people. All right.